Soul Garden. Live, love, be.
Good morning! From my smartphone to yours, I'm casting love from the stepsº22 Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. And this is your Wednesday, Namaste Today. Good morning and namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, stepsº22. My modality is psychic astrology, and she is so cute back there today. She's super excited. And my life mission is to stand in my heart and help other people stand into theirs. This webisode is for Hump Day, Wednesday, January 13th, 2016. And today we will proceed through two steps because we're moving very fast right now. We begin in step 22, Quantum Capricorn, and we end in step 23, which is Breakthrough. Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you to everyone who has told their friends and who has recently joined Namaste Today. Thank you so much. I try to make it a great way to start your day. Today we're going to go through some quantum breakdown and breakthrough. You might have gone through some breakdown last night. I talked about Bizarro World. If you're in my personal Sensei service, we went through the Bizarro dimensions, and that's because we're trying to get to the higher mountain. Everyone wants to get to a higher mountain. Everyone wants to have a better view. Right? Everyone wants to be where they truly belong. Everyone wants to feel empowered in their life. When I interview people, when I interview every normal person in America, they actually, usually, even if they want the lottery, they plan to give away most of it. And the rest of it, they just want a couple things for themselves. The truth is we just want what we want, and we want to just be able to have it, right? And we're at that point now where I think things are boiling up. We have Pluto and Capricorn. We have the Sun now at step 22 and step 23. And this means that if you're not actually changing your life right now and changing teams or changing mountains, you're at least changing your view, which will lead to wanting that other view forever. So some people are just being introduced to a new view. I think in my case, I'm being told, chop chop, if you want it, you better go, kid, right? Either way, it's time to play or get out of the game. So let's look at today's vibe. Today's vibe is partly cloudy and dreamy today. That's because of the combination of the planets. First of all, it starts off pretty cloudy in quantum. You might wake up in a new world. You might wake up like Dorothy and realize you're not in Kansas anymore. It might be that literal. Or you might just wake up dying to get out of Kansas, okay? Either way, we end up getting dreamy. Our mind goes places today. And so our mind is literally opening to all new levels. Mercury is retrograde. That means we're seeing things differently anyways. That's good. When you see it differently, when you look at it differently, you can actually see opportunity or see what you missed. So if nothing else, we're looking at things differently today. What we're receiving is a new direction based on what we sense and based on what works. So everyone is really opening up to new directions now. People are opening up to making new decisions. And they're opening up in their belief, which is right before their actuality. So people are opening up to a new direction based on faith. And because the moon is moving into Pisces today, everyone, I think, is feeling some forgiveness. You're feeling some forgiveness. Now, there should be forgiveness on the level of yourself. Who cares whatever happened in the past? Because you're in the present now, and if you really want to take control of your life, you have to let the whole past go. That is a simple step to moving forward. You cannot move forward unless you let go of the past. Now, you might go hold on to it again later. Sometimes I have to tell my ego, I'll hold on to it later. But you have to give yourself a temporary hall pass to get through. So it's time to forgive yourself. It's time to forgive others. Because you're trying to jump on another mountain. You really don't want to be carrying any of that emotional family baggage with you or emotional baggage to try to hop on a new mountain. So forgive and forget. What we're acting on are new thoughts. We're acting on new boundaries of thinking. We're acting on maybe even crossing the line. Some people, With this Mars at 5, if they're very young, like in their 20s, they might be actually, their mind might be considering something bad right now. These people that allegedly join ISIS, which I still kind of don't believe is happening. I mean, I really want to talk to a citizen who wants to join ISIS. I just can't fathom it. I think it's kind of a fairy tale in the news, but, this would be a time, I would say, as an astrologer, that they would be like, here's an idea. I think I'll go fight for, something I don't know anything about, just because. But with Mars at step 5, I guess that would be a time. So if you know anyone who is like on that kind of line, hold on to them. They are not thinking clearly. But for the rest of us, it's about we're at the bottom now. We're not going to let these old thoughts rule us anymore. So our mind is on boundaries of thinking. And what we're dictating is what we believe. We are saying we believe this. Well, I have to say, Senator, we're at that point where it's time to put your money where your mouth is. It is time to act on what you believe. So today's joy question, you choose to accept it, is accept the truth. Today you have to accept the truth. You have to accept the truth that you're not happy on this mountain. You have to accept the truth that you really want to be on that mountain. Basically, the only thing that could really hurt you is if you lie to yourself right now. And you know what? Capricorns do that all the time, and it hurts them. It hurts them because they lie to themselves. They're good at it. They think that it's necessary, but it only hurts. So today, your joy quest is accept the truth, indeed. All right? So let's move on to today's topic, where I'll help you accept the truth and get comfortable with your new power right now. Today's topic is grasping reality, getting your head around the truth. And this has to do with the combination of, I think, what we're going through. We have a quantum morning or a quantum yesterday. You might have had a breakdown. You might have a breakthrough. I think we're going to see things differently. I think we're going to feel a new power. And I think everyone's going to have a hard time, including Bella over my shoulder here, grasping reality. Everyone's just have a moment there. The mind just feels like it's crazy. Now, I always say to my clients, when you're escalating, when you're ascending, when you think you're crazy. If there's a moment you're like, am I crazy? That moment you go, am I crazy? And you actually, for a moment, don't recognize reality. And second, for that one moment, you go, oh my God, it's possible that I'm just completely nuts here. That's actually the ascension point. Because the mind is actually very stupid. It's like a chalkboard. You write things on it, it learns what you write on there, but then it gets stuck within the confines of that, what it's written. And so when you switch chalkboards, you feel crazy. When you switch mountaintops, you feel crazy. If you feel crazy, bravo, you're well on your way to ascension. And honestly, in that crazy moment, how do you get your head around the truth? What do you tell your mind? What do you say to the smartass? And that's what this is about, grasping reality. So let me put out the 5 o'clock question because I think it will kind of show you some of the construction of this. All right? The first part is, have you ever seen both sides of an issue so clearly that you actually didn't know what side to take? That you understood this side and you understood that side. If you do this, you do that. That it's like they're both so clear, you really don't know which side to take. All right? The second thing is, well, what did you do? What did you do about it? All right, so I'll answer this. I thought about a lot of this. I mean, a lot. I mean, you'd be surprised, for as much clarity as I have in life, there are some topics where I'm still like monkey, like, whoop, I just completely can't figure it out, all right? And I'm still trying to, and I am still applying the methodology I'm about to give you. The one that's most clear, though, is when I was growing up and my parents got divorced. In fact, when Saturn went into Scorpio, the last time my parents got divorced, they got divorced right in Saturn, Scorpio, typical, right? And I could see both sides. I could see why my mother drove my father crazy. I could see why my father drove my mother crazy. I could see why they liked each other. I could see why they need to be apart. My heart loved both of them. I honestly did not know what side to pick. They wanted me to pick a side, it seemed, or at least I thought they did. All right, so whatever. I saw both sides clearly. So what do you go with when you see both sides clearly? When your mind understands it all, what do? Well, the answer is you go with your heart. You go with your heart. And I'll tell you this. It's like when you're about to make a quantum leap to change your life, if you're a smart person, you're going to see brilliantly all the reasons to stay in the old life, and your mind is going to see brilliantly all the reasons to go in the new. And that is the limit of the chalkboard mind. That's where the intellectual state of awareness is not enough. That's why Buddha and Jesus and everyone else is like, there's a lot more out there besides ego, which is force, and mental, right? There's our spirit, our consciousness, all these things. A lot of airplanes in Southern California today, so I apologize for that if it's driving you crazy. So to grasp reality when life is changing, basically the answer is you have to stay connected to your heart. And that's what I teach with how to do with, go through a quantum shift. It's your heart. Your heart tells you you're in the right place. Your heart tells you that this was right and it made sense, but now this is right and it makes sense. And so your heart is actually the part of your consciousness that you must listen to in the transition and for accurate diplomacy and also accuracy of getting through the transition, like being able to navigate. That's the word I'm looking for. Pardon me. Be able to navigate and get in the right location. It's your heart. So the last thing I'll just say has to do with step 23 in grasping reality. Like there is a formula to how to get your mind around things, and it's step 23. I will explain. It is the mastermind. The mastermind at step 23 doesn't have the specific formula, the specific word, the specific answer. Yoda doesn't have the answer to everything, and that is the answer there, right there, that you don't have the answer to everything. In fact, only a smaller mind thinks that there is an answer to everything. If you get high up in the God consciousness, you know that you can either pay attention to the big picture or you can pay attention to the small details, but you can't pay attention to both. So a master mind, get a mind around something intense, goes along this formula. It's step 2, how you feel, how I feel, and step 3, what I believe. Step 2 plus step 3 adds to a 5, what I think. So basically, to get your mind around something, it has to agree that this feels right and I believe it. So if you're going, oh my gosh, let's go to this new neighborhood. We drive around. It's in our price bracket. I never thought I'd live in Kentucky. I never thought I would live in this place. Well, let's do the litmus test. I feel crazy. Really? I belong in this neighborhood? Well, does it feel right? Do you believe you belong here? Then your mind can get around at 5. That's the magic formula. All right? So as you're out there switching mountain to mountain, apply that test and see if it works for you. But if you're still not convinced, well, let's take a deeper look at the planets with the Zen Den. And welcome to the Zen Den. So to start our day and our morning, let's take 3 breaths together, shall we? And I will talk to my guides and ask them if they want anything to say. And you might ask your guides the same thing. It's a good exercise just to check and see and just put it aside. That's how you do these things. Time will tell. Time tells all. So let's take 3 breaths. Interesting. Just then, they gave me actually one thing to say to you with each breath. Isn't that interesting? And maybe that's because I finally listened. It's all right. So today's affirmation is designed to help you on your way, help you get your mind around the new mountain, and it is quite simple. Say this out loud and say it proud. You say it out loud, you actually put it into motion. I accept how I feel today, and I know what I believe. I accept how I feel today, and I know what I believe. And so it is, because I said so, I thought so. So with emotion, that's part of it. You got to accept how you feel. You can change it, but if you deny how you feel now, you're not going to change it. So accepting how you feel is very important. And you already know what you believe. I think, even if you want to change what you believe, you know what you believe now. So accepting how you feel and what you believe, that puts you in the power to get your mind that 5 around it. But let's take a look with the overhead and see what the planets have to say as well. Again, at 11:21 a.m., one of the best times to be born, let me tell you, at least in Hammond, Indiana. Step 23 rules the day. So step 23 adds to that 5. That's what I've been talking about all day. Of course, we're at step 22 before that in the morning, which means quantum. So Some people made the breakdown last night. Some people wait to the very last moment. You'd be surprised, but masters tend to procrastinate. Masters procrastinate. So usually the more gifted the soul, the more they wait to the final minute. So some people will wake up this morning, break down, get it all over with in one fell swoop. Mercury, we have a total plane here flying like exactly over. And I'm just going to work with the sound instead of trying to fight it. Mercury is retrograde, Mercury is retrograde, and Mercury is at step 24, which adds to a 6. So our mind is seeking the balance, seeking what is calm. And what's important here is that in the next 24 hours, basically the sun and Mercury cross each other. Okay, they conjunct and cross. It's almost like a royal wedding where they come up and they're like, hello and goodbye. And what it means is that your mind, you will come to a major intellectual conclusion. Now, sometimes at this stage in the retrograde, this is where my friends call me up. They're like, I get it. Oh my God, I'm moving to Hawaii. I'm selling everything. And I'm like, hold on. You're in a retrograde. And the sun and Mercury just cross for the first time. So sometimes, that formula of I feel it and I believe it leads to still something that's not good for you. And so even though feeling it and believing it is the right formula, remember our heart has to go, this is right. And your heart will go, I do love Hawaii, but I don't know if I want to, or whatever. So reality hits. So in the next 24 hours, as these two cross in front of each other and do-si-do, so to speak, we get it. There is breakthrough. We understand. And in some cases, people get a real harsh reality check, like a real ploof, because they were just way out of touch. And sometimes you get the first instinct. Sometimes this is the first real understanding of where things are going. You're seeing how it's going to add up. You're starting to see, and it's just an observation. But it's a big, big shift. Now, part of this has to do with how we feel. After all, it's step 23. The 2 is I feel. The 3 is I believe. So where's the I feel? The I feel is in Pisces. And that's why things are super chill. Now, Neptune is at its homegrown number of 7, which just can't get more powerful. God can't come in any stronger than that right now. And the moon, at least at the point of printing this chart, was at step 11. So we hit integrity by 11:21 a.m. And then for the rest of the day, we do a healing. What does this mean? This means let it go, let it flow. Forgive, forget. Okay? You will not serve anyone or anything by holding on to anything. In fact, if you look at this, you see these red lines here? This is known as a square. So on the right side, Venus, we're trying to open up to what we believe. We're trying to open up to our new decisions. We're trying to actually drink the Kool-Aid and practice what we preach. But our feelings might be in the way. What are those feelings? These feelings are us not forgiving the past, us trying to hold ourselves on some sort of trial, some sort of pedestal. Maybe we're not letting other people off the hook, and so we're so busy angry at them, we can't move on our way. You can't hold on to the old reality and be in the new reality at the same time. God put some sort of thing on there. So it's like, you got to choose, right? And that's because I think reality is so high resolution, man. So you got to jump and see it happen. So people will be breaking these fears today. They'll be breaking away from them. Now, when I went inside and I asked Spirit, okay, what do you want to talk about? The first thing they want us to talk about actually had to do with emotions and feeling and letting things go. Getting that 2 super clean. So helping people clear out their emotions, get that 2 really strong. The second thing they brought up was Jupiter, which is at step 23, Virgo. Now what's interesting is the North Node, which is God saying, do this, is at step 23. It was at step 24 just yesterday, but now it's at step 23. And what that means is literally the 23, right? Literally, God is saying, the universe is saying, focus on how you feel, the 2, and what you believe, the 3. Get your mind around that, the 5. That is what we're supposed to aim for. That's what God will pay for with Jupiter. And that's what we're calibrating today with the sun. And that's what this is known as a trine. So basically, when you get your mind around how you feel and what you really believe, when you accept the truth of how you feel and what you believe, and your mind can get around that, then boom, basically your reality changes. You begin to change what you're going to create, and that's what Jupiter and Virgo is, creating the new reality, what is most real. Of course, you have to, let go. Here's the last little point if you want to look at transits. Notice that we are working on Mars is enforcing, I want to go to green here. Mars is enforcing our mental boundaries. So Mars is saying, this is my mental boundary, man. This is what I'm thinking about. This is what's important. Mars is holding on. So there's a part of you holding on to certain thoughts and ideas. Now, the only thing that's important to know here is make sure you're holding on to the right thoughts and ideas. What makes the thought right? Well, it's that the heart wants it. Okay? So basically, when you can emotionally, here's us forgiving and forgetting. When you let go of the stuff that doesn't matter, you can hold on to the stuff that does matter. But you could also very wrongly be digging in and holding on to the wrong thing here and refusing to let go. So these two can act as a team to construct your life, or these can act as a team to hold back the construction of your life. And that's your ego, basically, and your feelings, forgiving and forgetting. Okay? All right, I think it's a wonderful place to wrap up. I do appreciate you, my friend. I appreciate you showing up every day. And I really appreciate people telling their friends and family. You can come down and leave a comment on the mothership at soulgarden.tv. And if you'd like to try my companion personal Sensei service, which is designed to get you through the day and keep you focused on what's important, come on down to seriousjoy.me. Otherwise, I'll see you in 24 hours with more. Remember, I love you, and live, love, be.